What's going on, everybody? Old truck, old guy here. I haven't made a video in a very long time. It's early Sunday morning. Um, it's snowed out. It's cold. We just found out that Trump's no longer. Biden's coming in. They're doing their stuff with all the voting. Coronavirus is still going strong and getting worse all the time. So practice what you can. Do your part. I'm trying the best I can. But yeah, I want to make a little video and throw it up on my YouTube. Like I said, it's been a while, and yeah, there's been lots going on since the last time I made a video. Still working on my big block. I got all my parts now. Everything came in finally. There's been a lot of delays in parts and shipping because of the US. Stuff like that. Just going to clean my glasses here real quick. But we were sitting around in the summertime, doing our stuff, trying to figure out what we're going to do with ourselves because we like to do things and keep active and have some fun. And so summertime, we really couldn't go and camp like we used to and take the motor home out and do all that. So my partner's uncle and aunt have a big farm, cattle farm. And so we were out there and we camp on their property. They kind of set up like a little camping spot, and it was cool. We could go out and enjoy ourselves. And then a buddy of mine's got a piece of property, same kind of thing. He's a cattle farmer. We go down there and do things like that. We did venture out to some campsites, but it was kind of tough, busy, and you don't know what this world right now. So we were talking, like, what are we going to do in the wintertime? Because you can't do anything. Can't go out really and dance or sing or go see a show or stuff like that. So we had an idea about buying some old snowmobiles so we could beat around the farm with them, cruise around the farm, have some fun, do our thing. So I got into doing that. So I got 3 old snowmobiles, got a couple Arctic Cats and an old Polaris, and I'm working on them, getting them going. They're actually not bad. They've been abused a little bit, not in the way of beating them up, like screaming the heck out of them or taking them up the mountains and stuff like that. But cosmetically, they weren't looked after at all. So redid all the hoods and paint and decals and windshields and all that stuff. And I'm in the process of right now fixing the last 2 up. The other one's all ready to go, the little Polaris. It's a good little machine. Greased it all, tuned it up, cleaned it up, did all that stuff, went through it all, reupholstered the seat, did all that. It's ready to go, and it's a great little machine. Looks really good. Now I got the 2 Arctic Cats left, 600 powder special and a 440 Panther, which is a 2-up, so you can put 2 people on. It's got a backrest on there. It's kind of a bigger machine, but it's a good machine. And then in my ventures, I had a guy that needed some front end work done on his Corvette. So I offered my services and went and did it for him. And he had a 2000 Polaris Trail Boss ATV. So after I did the work on the car, I gave him $500 and I grabbed this Polaris ATV. It hasn't been running a couple years, but I got it running last weekend, so it's now ready to go. So we're going to have some fun. I got all my snowmobile gear dug out. It's old and it looks retro, but it still fits and it's going to keep me warm. And also, because I don't know why I take on so many projects, I have a 1980 Firebird sitting in the shop right now, right there. And it's a buddy of mine. It's got a 400 in it. And so he bought the car, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't really looked after. The motor, it's had some work done to it, but it's old, and the work that was done is years ago. So he had a problem with losing compression and not running right and stuff like that. And I took it for a test drive before he started having problems, and the motor felt strong to me. There was good oil pressure. It was 50 pounds oil pressure, 55 actually when it was cold, and then down to about 30, 35 when it was hot. Seemed to have a lot of power. Tired power, but it was still pretty solid. Tranny felt good, torque converter felt good. It was good. I didn't beat it up or anything when I took it for a test drive, but it felt pretty solid. And then he started having problems with it. And about a month later. And I don't know if, maybe he revved it up too high, or he was tinkering in there and he shouldn't have been, or I don't know. So I told him that I'd take a look at it, and I kind of told him what I thought it was. I thought maybe the intake was leaking or a head gasket. I couldn't see, you know, big deal with pistons and stuff like that. And, for losing compression, he might have, broke a rocker, push rod, something like that, but it would have been running so choppy and terrible, and it really wasn't. It was still running okay if it was idling, and it ran better when it was warm. So to me, that was, yeah. So when I brought it in, I took apart, I took off the top end, and sure enough, the intake gaskets were the exhaust bypass on this aftermarket Eldebrock Performery that somebody had on there. The gasket was gone. And I think what happened is that the heads, they're a 6X head, Pontiac head, 455, whatever. Pontiac's all the same. The same block, same size of block. There's no small block or big block. It's just a big block Pontiac. And the only difference is bore and stroke, really. The blocks are exactly the same. You can bolt 455 heads on a 400. You can do all this. You can mix and match all this stuff. So, and the best heads, from what everybody says, is these Pontiac 6X heads, but a certain kind. There's two stamps, a 6 and an 8, I think there is, and size of valve or CC and stuff like that. But anyways, I wanted to see what these motors had. This motor had. So I took the intake out. I saw, okay, right away, I took the valley pan off. Lots of grease, lots of grime, but when I got the motor was spotless inside. So the cam looked a little bit wore, the lifters, a little sharp on the edges, but not bad. Like you can usually tell on the bottom of a lifter, you'll see a little circle start developing. You'll see where it's wearing. Not crazy bad. But I could also tell, though, too, that there wasn't a lot of oil getting to the rockers. You can tell. It dried out. You can see it. You can also see some heat and stuff like that. A little bit of bluing. You can just faintly see it. So his lifters, and because the push rods are the type the oil goes through them, they weren't spinning. So there wasn't any oil getting up there. And I know Pontiacs, them motors, a little tough sometimes, the oil supply to that area. So I don't know, maybe if somebody did something else to the motor, I don't know. But anyway, so I pulled the heads off, took a look, and sure enough, the head gaskets were just about to go between the cylinders. Just really close. So caught it in time. There was no antifreeze or nothing yet, but it was right there. But the intake for sure was leaking, and by the exhaust pass through. So I pulled it apart, and then I cleaned off one of the pistons, and it was stamped. It's 30 over. Somebody put some I forget the name brand, I'm sorry, but they're flat top with the valve groove cuts. They're 30 over. The cylinder walls look good. There's no big ridge. You can't see any hatch marks or anything like that anymore, but it's decent shape. And the heads, I took the gaskets again and I put them up against the heads. So the heads have been ported to the size of the gasket. They're not really smoothed out, but they've been cleaned up, and they're clean inside. It looks like it's got bigger valves in it, and if you flip them over, you look where the valve springs sit. There has been some machining for an aftermarket springs, because sometimes you buy these comp cams, Voodoos, or whatever you want to buy, and they come with a spring if you buy the kit, double spring, and they're bigger than the factory ones, so you do a little bit of machining where the valve sits. And there's actually little spacers in there too, so I can tell somebody went through it in a machine shop and actually gauged the pressure on each spring to see after they did machining on there, and they shimmed where they could so they get them all level. And also you can do that at home if you got a weak set of springs or whatever, you got a problem with one cylinder, you'll do that. But this one's been done consistently. You can kind of see between both heads, so that's where it's at right now. It's tore down just to the long block. I'm going to pull the motor out of it, and I'm going to re-ring it, bury it, put new bearings in it, new cam bearings in it. I pulled the cam, I did all that stuff, and I'm going to clean it up. New oil pump, new pickup, new gaskets, new rear seal, timing chain, all that stuff, new water pump. I'm going to dress it up nice. I'm going to put it back in for him. He's getting them heads done right now. I did buy him a aftermarket, it's like an air gap intake for Pontiac, but really cool looking, and they're made so you can still use your shaker hood, and a 2-inch spacer under the carburetor. So it's going to get a 750 2-inch spacer, nice intake, heat shield. Heads are getting done. They're going to get match ported now to that intake. So not the heads, but the intake will get ported so it fits that set of heads. Clean them up, bring them back. Hopefully they're not warped. He's going to get them shaved off, cleaned up, all that stuff. We'll check the clearances, new rockers, new push rods. He's already got the screw-in studs. He's already got guide plates that are in the heads already. Clean it up real nice, put it all in. I got a nice cam coming for him. It's a Voodoo. It's going to take a little bit of break-in. Do that. New lifters, new valley pin. Put it all together and do that. So that's what I'm doing on the car. But the problem is though is that a lot of this stuff's coming from the U.S. You can buy them parts in Canada, but it costs you a fortune. Gotta go to the U.S., man. You get a good deal. Summit Racing I use, Jegs I use, even Amazon, eBay. They got some good deals out there if you shop around. If you want to take the time to look, you can find the deals. So I found some pretty good deals. Give you guys an idea. Complete motor, intake, everything you could think of. Good aftermarket parts, all ARP bolts, good gaskets, not the cheap crap, good oil pump, good fuel pump, good water pump, like nothing cheap, no white box crap, good stuff, right down to the dress-up kit for every bolt on the motor, nice stainless steel, Allen key, hex head, it's gonna look nice, $2,400. After I shopped around from different places, a little bit from Summit Racing, a little bit from Jegs, a little bit from Amazon, a little bit from eBay. Whatever I could find, I drug in. You watch your shipping, you watch your handling, and now there's a tariff on some parts. If you're not careful when you're ordering, make sure you watch. It'll show the shipping. Sometimes they don't show what you got to pay for international charges, import charges. I just got a bill from FedEx for $29. I had no idea. Had a part shipped down from the U.S., not from somewhere like that. I forget where it was, some speed shop. I got a specialty part. Actually, it was this right here. Here's a spacer off my 460. This right here. So it's a $55 part, and that was a good price. Regular about $110. You can buy like a cheapo, but I wanted a nice piece. This is stainless steel. This is hard. It's a really nice piece. But $29 import fee on that I got a bill in the mail after I had this part 3 weeks later from FedEx. So just be careful on that. And now with the election, I don't know if something's going to change, but anyways, that's the way it stands. So yeah, so I'm working on the skidoos. I'm going to go out today. I'm going to go out there, and it's at Shannon's uncle and aunt's farm in their shop. Gives me more room because I've got no room in here. And I'm going to try to get them going. The other two, I'm waiting on 2 gaskets though. Between the carbs and the block, somebody put some aftermarket reeds in there. The factory ones they took out, I don't know. But they take a couple of gaskets, and I could tell 2 of them were already leaking, sucking air in where it shouldn't have. And there's rubber boots that come off the air box that go into the carburetor, and they were starting to crack old. And that'll just suck in air and dirt, not cool. So I'm going to do what I can with them, get them to the point where I'm ready to go, wait for these other parts. November 23rd, they say that they're coming to my door. It's like Christmas time when that happens. I love it. I really do. But anyways, that's what's happening right now. My shop's a mess, but we're working on stuff. We're staying motivated. We're staying healthy. We're doing what we can. I was in Calgary yesterday, which is about an hour and a half away from me. And I was helping my son move into this place that he wanted to go to. He got a really good deal on it, so spent the whole day, about 4 loads of stuff. So I'm a little tired, a little beat up. He works me pretty hard. He tells me that I'm a really good dad, and I get it, and I get a hug, and I get a I love you, and you know what? That's all I need. I've been watching a lot of cool people on YouTube since I haven't been making videos. Junkyard Digs, Dillon McCool, Visegrip Garage is another good one. And then this BST. This guy I'm not sure where he lives, but he's building stuff. And it's really cool. And the guy's got some pretty cool heart and soul when he talks about stuff. But so are these other guys too, don't get me wrong. Visegrip Garage, this guy, I've been watching him for a very long time. And he did a lot of stuff around his house. He'd go out and get old vehicle stuff. He had a lot of stuff in his driveway, a lot of stuff in his garage at home, and he had I'm not sure where it was, but he had a old place he'd go to with this old driving shed or whatever it was, like a pole barn, and he'd do a lot of stuff out of there too. Now he's got a big shop. You can tell he's doing some other stuff, and he's doing well for himself, and he's got good content. He's a nuts and bolts kind of guy. He knows his stuff. He knows how to make something work. He knows how to make something out of nothing, and that's pretty cool. But so does Dillon McCool. He's building that car right now, that Challenger. It's funky, man. He's doing a really nice job on that car, and he's got a new video out where you can see his Comet or Maverick that he just pulled out of the weeds as well. Junkyard Digs, them guys are cool too. Like the guy fixed up a Cutlass, gave it to his dad. They're doing something with a four-wheel drive, 79 four-wheel drive right now, messing around with that. And what's the other guy? Ford 289, something like that. Thunderhead 289 is a buddy of his. Good guy, knows a lot about Fords, and he knows a lot about carb setup, vacuum. I learned a lot off him, actually, setting up vacuum and carb. You know, there's some tricks of the trade, which I've used for a long time, and I'm no pro. I'm not. I'm just a backyard kind of guy. But it's true. You know, he's got one video where he'll talk about people leave horsepower on the table. They don't check out the vacuum. They don't check out their timing, and they leave a lot there. And it's true. It's happened to me. I've done it myself. And you get excited. You want to plug and play your vehicle. You want to get it out there, but you're robbing yourself. So check him out. You know, my buddy Casey, known him since, I don't know, 1980. We've been best friends forever. He's actually a licensed mechanic. He's been banging around doing top-end mechanical work for dealerships and all that stuff his whole life, but he's also built stuff in behind the scenes, and he's really good at it. So I've been reaching out to him for some advice on some certain things because he knows it, man. He's got it down. He's got a 19, I don't even know what year it is, but it's a Maverick. Beautiful car. Beautiful car. It's like showcase car. Fast, and he's always doing something to it. I can hardly wait. I've never seen it in person yet because he lives about 12, 13 hours away from me. But one day I'll get a chance to see it and go for a ride. It's what we used to do with kids. We'd jump in the car, and he always had a fast car building something, or I always had some clunker, and we'd drive around and go for coffee and cruise the streets at Chilliwack, BC, back in the day. He still lives there, and it's cool. It's very cool. So I'll get out there to see him. Maybe I'll highlight it in a video one day, but I don't know how to put links down for these other channels. I'll try to. But this BST guy, very cool. Like I said, Dillon McCool, Visegrip Garage, Thunderhead 289, Junkyard Digs. Cool, man. Some cool content, and I love watching it, man. Like these guys, they're just banging around kind of guys, man. They're just having fun. So I'm not asking for no support. I don't need no likes. I don't need nothing like that. I'm not in it for that. I'm not here to make any money off YouTube or anything like that. I just enjoy what I'm doing. So happy Sunday, man. I'm going to, I'll update you, maybe better. We'll see. I don't know. I'm bad at it, man. I don't make good videos, but I'll give it a shot. So I'm going to get my butt going and go work on these snowmobiles, go have some fun in the snow. So take care of yourself.